Hi, we're here with Dave High to talk about Accelerator for NDMP, a new feature in NetBackup. Go ahead, Dave.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you. So Accelerator for NDMP. So in order to understand what this means, we have to understand what Accelerator is. So Accelerator is a method for backing up data where we use something called a track log. And the track log basically only backs up, it makes it so we can only back up bits and pieces of a file when we're sending it to dedupe disk. So Accelerator does require dedupe disk. Well, why is this a challenge with NDMP? NDMP policy type and NDMP disk type, by its very nature, doesn't have a file system on it, which means we can back it up, but we don't know what's on there. So in a traditional backup environment, what we're going to do is we're going to have a client that's going to mount up a volume. It's going to be an NFS volume from something like a NetApp filer. We could put a NetBackup client, or I'm sorry, yeah, NetBackup backup client on this client, and we could send this data to the media server by backing up the NFS mounted volume. Well, the problem with this is it's very slow, and sometimes these can be very large volumes. So we want to back up using NDMP, but the challenge has always been we can't use a track log with NDMP. So what we did is we got together with NetApp, and we worked with them on their NDMP protocol. Now, NDMP protocol is a universal protocol, but each one of the vendors that uses it has kind of a different variation on it. So we had to work with NetApp to understand the NDMP protocol that they used so that we were able to do things like get into it and figure out what was on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the volume, we're going to snapshot it. Once we've snapshotted it, it's still going to be considered an NDMP volume, and then from a master server perspective, we are going to be able to take that snapshot, and by using an SLP, storage lifecycle policy, we're going to be able to take the information that's in the snapshot and run a process on that that's going to give us information and put it into the catalog on the NetBackup master. So the process is going to be run a snapshot. We're not going to mount the snapshot. We're just going to take the information that's in the NDMP volume. We're going to index it and put the information into the NetBackup catalog. Now, one of the challenges that we do have is because this is NDMP, we need space to store the track log. In a traditional environment, we would store the track log on the client itself because that's where the backup is coming from. With NDMP, because this isn't a file system, we don't have the ability to do that. So the track log in this case is going to be stored on the master server and the media server for the NDMP information, which means when we're going to do this process, we have to make sure that there's enough space on the master and the media, and there's a guide that will show us how to do this for the track log information. The final point that's important, this only works at this time with a NetApp filer. So make sure in your environment we're running snapshots, SLPs, NetApp filers, and we have space on the master and the media server for the track log information. And that is basically Accelerator for NDMP policy type.
Great, Dave. Very informative. Thanks, and thanks for joining us.